Den of Thieves 2, Pantera review of 2018's underrated Den of Thieves was almost too obviously inspired by Michael Mann's Heat. The long-awaited sequel sees writer-director Christian Guedgast pivoting to another Robert De Niro-led action classic, John Frankenheimer's car chase classic Ronin. When a character had the codename Ronin early in the film, I allowed the consideration that it might be a coincidence, but then Den of Thieves 2, Pantera makes its debt to European set stories of international criminals apparent for the next 2 hours plus, including sharing a setting with the Frankenheimer classic in the gorgeous city of Nice, France. Both filmmakers also thrive off attention to detail, Guedgast eschewing the option to Fast and Furious this franchise and go bigger and louder with the sequel. Instead, he has delivered what could be called a heist procedural, a film granular with details about one massive criminal undertaking, elevated by a pair of charismatic leading men in one of the most beautiful places in the world. Nick O'Brien, Gerard Butler, in the part he was born to play, is still licking his wounds over the robbery of the Federal Reserve from the first film, even though his superiors have insisted that he close the case. After all, nothing was stolen. If you've forgotten a 7-year-old film, the original was about a group of bank robbers stealing the unfit money that's been taken out of the system by the Fed before it's destroyed. Nick knows that Donnie Wilson, O'Shea Jackson Jr., was the real mastermind of that job, and it eats at Nick that he got away with it. When bank accounts connect Donnie to a recent diamond heist out of Antwerp, Nick heads to Europe to find his man. However, Den of Thieves 2 is not the typical cat and mouse promised by its setup. It turns out that Nick doesn't want to catch Donnie as much as join his side of the cops and criminals ledger. So when he basically stumbles into Donnie's latest job, masterminding the heist of the World Diamond Authority, he becomes a key player on his team. Almost too key a player. I never quite bought how easily Nick slipped into this world or how easily Donnie let him. And while Donnie is shown planning a lot of the elaborate crime, it does feel like Jackson takes a back seat to Butler more than he needed to once the job actually gets its feet on the ground. By the way, it's important to note how long it is before that happens. Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, is more about planning a job than it is the job itself. It is downright obsessive in its detail about camera cycles, false identities, and elaborate planning. And Guedgast loves to place potential traps around Donnie and Nick, including former members of this crew who might now want revenge and even the Italian mafia who want Donnie's head for the Antwerp diamond heist. While there is a nice simmering tension, the trailers that show just about every action moment in the film are downright misleading and gadega. I'll admit that I did kind of miss the Los Angeles hum of the first film, and the stronger supporting cast of that endeavor, but I also like Heat more than Ronin, so it makes a bit of sense, I suppose. No one is bad here. In fact, Evan Ahmad as a possible love interest for Nick is quite good, but Guedgast relies heavily on the stellar buddy movie chemistry of his two stars, who step back into these roles like no time has passed since they played them. It probably won't take another 7 years to make a third Den of Thieves film, that I'd like to be subtitled Megadeth Please, and I'm here for it, almost wondering what action classic that film will pull from in its construction. Someone send Guedgast a copy of To Live and Die in LA for me. Pantera also has some pacing issues. While it starts off strong, it does lose some steam midway through the movie once Nick is joined up properly with the crew. An extended scene at a club overstayed its welcome, and I would have preferred more emphasis on the planning and practicing, rather than scenes with charterers who are not that interesting. There are attempts at levity, such as members trying to work to their respective favorite types of music, but it doesn't feel essential to the plot other than a light distraction. The script does aim to redeem Nick in a way. He was a complete skeezbag in the first Den of Thieves, but he's mellowed a bit in the sequel as he tries to find his new place in the world. It's commendable that the movie didn't just repeat Nick's arc from the first film, and I did like his conflict, but I did miss his grit and standoffness from the first one. In the end, I don't think Den of Thieves, Pantera is quite as good as the first one, but it should be a decent outing if you like these kinds of movies. For a January release, it's certainly of a higher caliber and is entertaining enough to have me wondering what the inevitable third will be like, which is set up in this movie. I just hope that the next entry is a bit more focused and a bit more detail-orientated. It's a wrap on today's review. Whether you loved the film or felt it missed the mark, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into cinema, and ring the bell so you never miss a review. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and keep watching great films.